Before we get started, I want to say I have tried working on a YouTube video for over a week now, and I've been able to come up with basically nothing. So I'm sorry that there was no video last week, and I'm sorry it's not like this happens again. I tried a couple different things on different subjects. I did one video on a Truly video, like reacting to that. I'd looked into doing some reactions to family YouTube videos. I even did a video where I recorded and started editing on this same topic we're going to be talking about today. I just hated it. I hated it. It didn't feel right. It wasn't funny enough to just be me joking about what's going on. It wasn't informative enough to be like me taking a look at what the actual project is. So it just came off as very generic. I have been in a bit of a slump lately, and I just can't find anything that I want to make a video on. I haven't felt as funny as I usually do. It's hard to explain. I get into these like ruts where it doesn't feel like I'm doing a good job at making the content that I want to be making. But this is a video that I wanted to make because I'm interested in what the topic is, and it also doesn't seem like anybody else has really been talking about it. I've seen 2 other videos, that's it, actually talking about the project. One video was like a live reaction to watching the video announcement for the project. And the other video was just an angry rant from somebody that didn't feel like they were actually informed about what they were talking about. Like they just saw the video and that was all they based it off of. They didn't look into anything else. So there hasn't really been any kind of actual thought put into these videos, it seems. So I wanted to actually take some time before recording, come at it from a different angle and get a bit of actual information before I recorded it. So that way it wasn't just me randomly talking. And thought maybe that'd be a bit of a different but a bit interesting of an idea. So let's get into it. What we're going to be talking about today is Razer's Project Hazel, the tech and gaming company's concept design for a better looking, longer lasting, and more convenient N95 mask. It's definitely an interesting concept, and Razer has been producing disposable masks since the pandemic caused a shortage of PPE across the country. So it isn't their first kind of step into this field. Like I said, I want to take a deeper look into the specifics of the mask, and not only actually talk about my thoughts and stuff like that, but make as many jokes as I can, because I can't take anything seriously. It's a problem. Starting with the overall look, while cool, it kind of looks like some hype beast dream of cyberpunk or Fallout theme apocalyptic gear, so I'm not entirely sold on it, but it could be cool. It's definitely unique and flashy. It's pretty sizable mask. It's not like massive, but it's definitely bigger than just a normal cloth face mask. And it has RGB lights on it, because of course it does. It's Razer. Why wouldn't it? It's clearly trying to stand out and be more noticeable, so I wouldn't expect like a doctor or medical professional to be wearing these masks. But if it ever does get released, there'll be plenty of videos on your recommended page of mask reviews and generic artsy videos filled with colorful smoke bombs and shot on whatever iPhone is available at the time. Delving into some of the specifics of the mask though, it actually seems like it's had a lot of thought put into it beyond just something that looks cool. The design has a silicone seal on it that'll rest above your nose now, so it won't be resting on your nostrils or your mouth, making it easier to communicate with other people. The mask will also have a microphone and amplifier in it where the respirators are. So the respirators will be fully functioning, blocks out like, I think it said 95% of germs, and there will be a microphone and amplifier built into it so that it can project your voice outside of the mask instead of having to try and talk through this plastic mask, which all in all will prevent your voice from sounding muffled like most masks do. The mask is also going to be made out of a clear recycled plastic, which will allow you to see the wearer's mouth and make it even easier to understand what they're saying. There are other aspects to the mask. Like I said, it's made from recycled plastics, so it's far better for the environment than just standard disposable masks, because not only is it recycled plastics, but it's also a reusable mask. It's also going to be an N95 mask, so it is like certified, genuine personal protective equipment. It's not just a random face cover. But it definitely seems like the big focus of the mask was making interactions between people more convenient and better off in general, so that way people will stop having to take their masks off to talk, which is smart because a mask can only protect somebody if it's on their face. So having to take it off to talk kind of negates the whole point. This mask could be a big win for Razer, which at the time of recording is already at one of its highest stock prices in the past year. So if this does do well, they could be at a very good place financially. But there are 2 key factors to both whether or not this project will ever come to fruition at all, or how well it's received and how well the company does moving forward. First thing's timing. It's already been over a year since the first reported case of COVID-19, and vaccines have already started rolling out, so by the time the mask is fully conceptualized and ready to go into production, we could be beyond the point of the general public wanting or needing a mask of this magnitude and severity. And like I said before, I just can't imagine a doctor walking around like an emergency room with rainbow RGB lights circling on their face, trying to have a patient take them seriously while they're delivering news of like major illnesses or anything like that. So the project could be dead before it's ever even finalized if they don't get it out quick enough. The other potential issue, and in my opinion the more important issue, with the mask will be pricing. Currently, there is no estimated price or cost of production for the mask. When I tried Googling it, the only result that came up said $1,700 to $2,300, I think it was. But if you actually clicked on the article, it wasn't talking about the masks. It was talking about Razer's 30 series graphics card laptops. So if you decide to Google it and you see those numbers, click on the article. It's not talking about the masks. So since we don't know what the prices will be, we can't say for sure what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, Razer is a tech company trying to make a profit and trying to please shareholders. So they might try and overprice it. But we've seen what happens when people try to exploit the pandemic for a profit. You've probably heard about the Colvin brothers, who towards the beginning of the pandemic bought up like 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer. I think it was 17,700 or something like that. And they tried to resell them for a profit. Not only did they get horrible backlash and completely berated by the media, and rightfully so, it's a shitty thing to do, but Amazon took their listings and other listings off of the website and suspended sellers who tried to do the same thing. So it's very clear that it's not going to be well accepted if somebody's trying to profiteer off of the pandemic. If Razer tries to overprice their masks and it becomes clear this is purely about profiting off of people's fear during a time when countless people are out of work, I don't think even then it would be quite as bad as people buying and reselling necessities like hand sanitizer, toilet paper, things like that. I do still think it'd get backlash. While yes, it is their own creation, it is their own product, and they could try and market it as like a luxury item because it's reusable and it's got RGB lights in it, so it's more of like a stylish piece than actual protective equipment. The fact that they've labeled it N95 and personal protective equipment, to me at least, makes it seem like it shouldn't be seen as luxury equipment, and that would just feel like the company's trying to exploit the pandemic for a profit. On the other hand, they clearly can't underprice this type of mask, because just based off the concept alone, it's going to be a fairly costly mask. It's definitely not going to be something cheap to develop, and since it's meant to last longer, that'll play into it as well. If it's only meant to last a couple years, they can't charge as much for it as they could if it's meant to last a lifetime, a decade, anything like that. And another thing they could potentially do if they are worried about people accusing them of trying to profit off the pandemic, while this will only work if they aren't trying to profit off of it, they can show the cost price and the sale price. Clearly, if they're making this mask, you're expecting them to make some profit. But what they could do is if they're only making a 5-10% profit off of it, they could show the cost price and the sale price, so that way you can be like, oh, that's not a whole lot of money they're actually making off of me. This could work out very well or very terribly for Razer, but unfortunately we won't know until they actually have some kind of theoretical timeline or price points, because right now they don't. There's no plan or timeline for finishing the concept, development, production, or release, anything like that. So we just gotta wait and see. If you do want to see Razer's announcement video for the Project Hazel, the YouTube link will be down in the description. That's going to be all for today's video, though. I don't want to completely make my mind up about the project yet, mainly because there's just not enough information about it. Once we have a better idea of the timeline for the project, once the concept's finalized and they're ready to move into production, we'll have a better idea of the features of the mask itself and what the price point's going to look like, and those are kind of the main factors in whether or not I'm at least on board with the project. But what do you think? Do you think the project is a good idea? Is it something Razer should be putting more of the company's focus into? And what do you think of the mask itself? Do you like the design? Do you hate the design? Is it something you would buy if the price is right? Let me know down in the comments. Also, I know this video isn't my usual style of content, especially if you watch my Twitch streams. You know I usually look at things like this and just make jokes about it all the time. And we still got some jokes in there, but I'm actually interested in this project, so I want to do a more of a introspective or contemplative look at my thoughts, at least, on the project. So let me know if you enjoyed this type of video. If you did, make sure to like it. If you want to see more from me, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. I have Twitter and Instagram. Also follow me on Twitch. Currently, my streaming schedule is just a mess. Between trying to balance streaming, YouTube, and work, I'm still trying to work out the best time frames for everything. So I can't really say for sure what nights I go live, but I do announce when I am going live in my Discord, so make sure to join that too. But most importantly than all of that, I just appreciate y'all watching the video. So I hope y'all have a fantastic week and an amazing day, and I will talk to y'all later. What we're talking about today is Project... Since the pandemic caused a shortage of PPE across the country. PPE? Did I say that right? I think I did, and I just ruined the take. Oh well. I can't speak. That's the problem. And now my hair is doing stupid shit because I can't stop fucking with it. Razer has been producing disposable masks since the pandemic caused a shortage of PPE. Not leaving a voice crack in, that's for fucking sure.